Hello all. Thought I'd stop in for just a moment, say a few words of encouragement about BCTV's Nightly News Roundup 545 Live. Oh my, I'm Roland Boyden. I'll be taking you through the next couple minutes into the regularly scheduled 6 o'clock news. We got a jam-packed show coming up on deck tonight. So let's roll it, take a look at what's coming up here, if we can indeed take a moment. All right, well, there's the good stuff. We'll start with the train accident in Brattleboro. Luckily, no injuries. We'll get our Vermont State Police report there. 13% tax increase in Townshend. We'll break down why that's happening. And the new legislative session kicks off. We'll get all the local news and national news on that as well. All that and more. The goal is always to do it in 15 minutes or less. So if you've got the time and the attention span, stick with us right here on 545 Live.
I believe that the operation of the intersection at the junction is increased and improved from what it was. And you don't have the blocking those intersections and the conflicts with the railroad.
Welcome back to this January 8th, 2013 edition of 545 Live. I'm Roland Boyden. I'll be taking you through the next few minutes into the regularly scheduled 6 o'clock news. We were taking a look at a few things, but that has to do with the not with the train accident that we'll talk about in just a moment, but with a malfunction at Malfunction Junction. Heck, I believe that's what the title even says. That's footage of Ken Upmall. We were just looking at the project manager for Brattleboro's 2011 multi-million-dollar downtown traffic light upgrade. During his presentation to the Brattleboro Select Board this previous June, the new traffic lights, which employ cameras to detect oncoming traffic, or a lack thereof, and require the pressing of a button to activate pedestrian rights-of-way, have remained under fire in the community since their implementation now 2 years back. Again, in the public's watchful eye, they are, after a computer glitch at the appropriately dubbed Malfunction Junction, forced the Department of Public Works to reset the intersection to a flashing light system. The company responsible for the light's installation is, at least to the best of our understanding, in town as we speak, working to resolve the issue. But as DPW Director Steve Barrett told the Reformer, quote, "We've had a few bugs in the system." Plenty of controversy surrounding these, and plenty in those select board meetings. That one, June 7th, 2011. If you want to head to BrattleBoroTV.org and watch it in our video on demand archive, you can watch all the details of that presentation. All right, as we mentioned, a train accident in Brattleboro. We'll talk about that in just a second as part of our VSP Vermont State Police report. But first, the legislative session is kicked off. And we're going to talk a little bit about both the local and national arena. Let's start here, where a group of local residents are prepared to, getting ready to split their time between Montpelier and right here in Windham County. Reps like Mike Merwicki from District 4, who hosts the program Montpelier Connection right here in BCTV studios, and soon to be from the State House via webcast. We'll be getting those broadcasts right before the holiday break. We sat down with him in our downtown studios to talk a little bit about the upcoming legislative session and the financial hardship the state should face. Though, says Mike, not to fear, the state, the reps always know what they're doing. Let's take a look.
Just about every level of government is experiencing revenue shortages. We've been cutting for years now, and the reality is the legislature has stepped up every time. I think there'll be about $18 million short that could be looked at as savings. The more likely use of it, though, is it's going to be plowed right back into the ground.
Included in that interview were Reps Valerie Stewart and Molly Burke. According to Molly, her goals focus on transportation in a state that generates 40% of its greenhouse gases. using transportation. She says there's a lot we can do to become a model for a laboratory for the rest of the country.
I am hoping to be reappointed to the Transportation Committee, where I've been for 4 years. To me, the big overriding issue is the issue of climate change. It's here, it's affecting us.
You can catch that full interview with Mike Molly and Valerie Stewart, all Windham County representatives, as we speak, gearing up to deal with another trying, I'm sure, legislative session, wrestle with that budget as all public servants are these days. All right, we'll move on and talk a little bit about representatives on the national level. Now, it may seem like Senator Bernie Sanders has been appointed for life as a representative for Vermont, but it's actually just his second term in the Senate after Jim Jeffords, longtime senator, retired. Mr. Sanders decided to try his hand in the Senate over the House. He was sworn in Washington, and we've got that footage as well. Let's take a look.
Mr. Menendez of New Jersey, Mr. Nelson of Florida, Mr. Sanders of Vermont.
I want to thank the citizens of Vermont for allowing me to serve a second term in the United States Senate. Some of the issues that I intend to be working on in the next few years is trying to create the millions of jobs, decent paying jobs that our economy requires, making sure that when we do deficit reduction, we do it in a way that is fair.
Do you solemnly swear that you will faithfully discharge the duties of the office on which you are about to enter, so help you God?
I do.
Congratulations, Senators.
Thank you.
I look forward to working with Vermonters to address these and other important problems.
U.S. Senator Bernie Sanders. Wait, what just happened? There's something different here. Joseph Bushy. William Joseph Bushy joins me at the desk now to pick up the stories here. And Joe, I could use your help on our next one because it'll involve all kinds of close-ups and flashing animations and whatnot as part of our VSP, Vermont State Police Report, courtesy of our contact there, Stephanie Desario, who's been getting us all the latest information, which today includes a train accident, though thankfully one that does not include injuries. Let's head on over and take a look at this Vermont State Police Report. I'll turn you loose on it, Joe.
All right. Well, according to the Vermont State Police Report, there were no injuries sustained in this morning's train crash off Route 2 in Middlesex after a driver trying to cross the tracks was struck by Amtrak's Vermonter passenger train.
There you go. We'll keep you updated as best we can. There's also, we've just found out, a article on the Reformer's website as well.
Right.
It turns out. So viewers can find out more there as well, reformer.com. All right, a few things to keep talking about, Joe, as we move on through this midweek edition of 545 Live. Now, over the holiday break, we sent out one of our hardworking content specialists, Greg McAllister, to do a little piece about the Putney Diner, which, as of that point, when we commissioned the story, was set to close its doors. In the process of capturing this story, which he's now piecing together as a full 5-minute special, turns out the Putney Diner will, in fact, reopen.
Endure.
So
that's right.
He's
great news for all.
Indeed. So he's got a chance to put a happy spin on this story. Let's get the
One of
little
the employees, if I'm not mistaken, right?
Indeed.
Who just couldn't bear to see it go, as so many others, I'm sure.
So many others. Many of whom are involved in his video. Let's take a look at the trailer for that.
No one wants to see it go, and we're all family. It's not a customer-based thing. You know, everyone ends up being our family.
Ever since Debbie opened the diner, I've had the same customers, even the ones that come from out of town. We have very good customers here. I love them. They're so hard.
Hi, how are you?
Hey,
how are you?
How many years have you been coming in here?
Too many.
All right, Joe, the B in BCTV, I'll do my little spiel here. The B in BCTV stands for Brattleboro, but as many viewers now know, there are actually 7 other towns in the surrounding area that we serve, primarily by getting footage of every single one of their select board meetings and Leland and Gray's school board meetings as well, all of which show 2 clicks up the dial on our Government and Education sister channel, Channel 10, and are available to view at your leisure at brattleboro.tv.org at our video on demand. that spiel said, Joe, I want to get a little footage from these 7 towns today. It's Townshend. There's some tax trouble on the way there, and for that, we're going to put it back on you, put you under the microscope again here, and talk a little bit about this story. Take it away.
Alrighty. At last night's Townshend Select Board meeting, the board briefed the public on an expected 13% spike in taxes. The reason FEMA, the reason FEMA, or a lack of FEMA actually as it is, as the town continues to wait for substantial reimbursements once expected from the notoriously specious federal agency.
There you go. We've got that full meeting, which is, as we speak, going up onto our website, but if you don't want to watch the 3 hours on 15 minutes right at the moment, you can watch about 30 seconds right now.
Everybody's going to say a 13% increase. Well, 10% of that is because of FEMA. And a 3% increase is a little bit more palatable considering the expenditures that we have in the highway department for projects that we have to do.
Again, that full meeting at brattleboro.tv.org, the Townshend Select Board, along with Vernon, Guilford, Dummerston, Putney, Jamaica, Newfane, and those Leland and Gray School Board meetings we were talking about as well. You can find them all there. All right, just a few things to wrap up here on BCTV as we continue on with this show. One of those things is to shamelessly promote what's coming up on BCTV on our own channels. Why not at this point, and talk about some new things, including the 2012 Vigil for the Homeless, which took place in Pliny Park.
In the month of November, we served 29 people. Half of those were children. So we're really very thankful for having the community's support to keep our doors open. Thank you.
And the latest First Wednesday lecture, now that First Wednesday has made the transition to HD for all you online viewers, can be found next week as well. Let's take a look.
Spiegelman was able to communicate through non-realism the most important essence of the Holocaust.
That can be found next week, just part of our New on BCTV feature. Speaking of New on BCTV, I'd be remiss, Joe, if I didn't promote live BUHS Colonels basketball coming up on Channel 10 just a short while from now. That's going to be at, we're going to go live at 7:15 tonight on Channel 10. The game tip-off is at 7:30, so I'm particularly excited for that. Live basketball, live sports.
That's some great coverage from BUHS TV.
Indeed. This will be the second game that we've broadcast live. The first, a victory for the BUHS boys team.
Hopefully many more to come.
Yeah, let's get the recap courtesy of announcers, WTSA's Tim Johnson, and a longtime BUHS teacher, Bill Holliday.
Now on the right sideline, it's Claflin. He can't shoot it. And McAuliffe with another steal.
Love his defense tonight.
McAuliffe's been spectacular off the ball. He's deflected 3 and stolen 1. Patno a bomb. It's good for 3. 9-0 Brattleboro. 4:17 into the first quarter.
All right, that's a full lid, everybody, but be sure to check in with us again this coming Friday. Joe, thanks for joining me at the desk, and I'll say thanks to all you viewers out there for watching, and thanks to everybody that makes 545 Live tick the way it does. I'm Roland Boyden, and I'll leave it at that. Night, everybody.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Greetings. This is Mike Murwicki. I'm going to start it again.
What happened?
I forgot what I was going to say. Ready? 5,
I
4,
never heard of them.
3, 2, 1.